Alrighty, welcome everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody is staying safe and sane and all those good things. It is a weird day over here for me. Partly it's a really cool and really good day because we just finished a poll, and I'm really excited about the thing that will be coming up next on the Wednesday slot, having finished Dragon Maid. And it's a really weird day because my roommate's kid just tested positive for COVID, and he's been here, so there is some chance of that spreading and having to go into quarantine yet again and like go hard on quarantine because it's bad. Um, More tests will be coming in soon, but for now, it's just we know that there's been an exposure nearby, and that's rough. It means no going to the gym, it means no going anywhere or talking to anybody, and probably canceling the D&D game this weekend because we don't want to get a lot of other people sick. So it is what it is, but it is pretty shitty. On the other hand, we had a poll that ran, and it ran really well. It ran for the last week, and I'm excited to talk about the results of that poll. So I put only a handful of shows on this poll, sort of narrowing down from the last poll that we did that had a ton of stuff on it and was kind of all over the place, to just a few shows that I was interested in both watching and in seeing how people still want to see them. What's the deal here? So put these 5 shows on the poll. 86 because I've heard interesting things about it. Heike Monogatari because it's directed by Naoko Yamada. Komi-san Can't Communicate because it was the one other one that I wanted to throw on here, and I was just really interested in seeing how it would do. Mushoku Tensei because it's a pretty hype show and a lot of people are interested in it, and Osama Ranking because it's a very hype show and a lot more people are interested in it. I think maybe you can already tell by me just running through the things which one probably won. But let's go through them anyway, and I think we'll go through them in order of least to best. So like worst results to best results, and talk about some of the way that the results came out because it's kind of interesting. Here are the graphs. Actually, wait, no, I'm going to not spoil it. I'm going to just not do graphs. I'll put up portions of graphs as we go, and I'll edit that in. That'll be good. Starting off with Komi-san Can't Communicate. This was pretty balanced on the positive and the negative, but it's actually very balanced on the positive and the negative because it ends up with a total score of 4, which is quite low in terms of total positives, but is very balanced. A lot of people kind of want to see it. A lot of people kind of don't want to see it. Number of people really want to see it. Number of people really don't want to see it. Bunch of people don't care. Right in the middle, and so it ends up being super balanced, fully bell curved out to 4. Komi-san probably won't show up on another poll. I thought it might be interesting. There's clearly like a niche fan base for it, but that niche is clearly not large enough to be of great interest to us, and so we move on from there. Second to last place, I should say. This is sad to me. Maybe it's because of information. People have been talking about this on the Discord, but maybe it's because people don't know what this show is or who's related to it or what the deal is with it. And frankly, I don't really know either. I just know that it's historical drama and it's directed by Naoki Yamada, and both of those things interest me greatly. But next is Heike Monogatari. Also, I think because there were a couple of little comments that people mentioned, I think some people think that this is related to the Monogatari series, which it's not. For those who don't know, Monogatari just means story, and so like Ore Monogatari or Heike Monogatari just means story about thing or story of thing, and doesn't necessarily mean that it's part of that particular piece of media, right? But Heike Monogatari got 43 no's, 51 na's, 144 mes, so people just on the middle, and that's part of what I think that people just didn't know about it, which is fine. That's what the meh button is for. That's what going in the middle is about, but it is kind of sad. A good number of mildly interested yas, and a solid number, by which I mean 69, nice, of hell yas, which is pretty cool, but it does bring the total to a 94, which on some other poll might be really good, and on this poll is not good enough. Sorry. Next in line is 86. I still don't know what this is about. I think it's mechs. I haven't looked it up. 41 no's, hell no's, 59 na's, 128 right in the middle with the meh. Good bunch of yas, bunch of 94, and hell yas get 78 for a total all told of 109, which is not bad. Next up are the two frontrunners and main contenders for the whole thing. As you look at these, you will notice that they have relatively similar positive scores, but the negative scores make up the difference. Second to best is Mushoku Tensei with a full 86 Hell No's, and 34 Nas. This is interesting to me. What it means is that everything on Mushoku Tensei is skewed toward either I love it or I hate it. It's like really polarizing, which I find really, really interesting. So we've got 86 Hell No's, 34 Nas, 75 Mez. Everybody knows, because of how few like Mez there are, it makes me think everybody knows what it is and has an opinion on it, which is interesting, right? 75 yeses and 129 hell yeses. So again, the balance is there, but it's more skewed toward the ends of the distribution. So the people who like the show really like the show, and the people who don't like the show really don't like the show. And what that leads to is a whole bunch of negative votes total, almost as many negative votes total as Komi-san, even though the number of voters is different. That's really cool, right? Like, that's super interesting to me. Still also a fair number of high positive votes, but they total out and they cancel out to equal only 127. Still enough to get runner-up and second place in this poll, but by no means enough to be a landslide victory. Speaking of landslide victories, Osama ranking. Totally the opposite of that. There are only 34 Hell No's, which is really low. It's the lowest on the group. There are 32 Nas, which is also the lowest on the group. 88 Mez in the middle, again, a low ambivalent count, which means that people care about it or don't like it. But in this case, all of that population that would have been in the no's and hell no's for something like Mushoku Tensei is all voting on the yeses and the hell yeses on Osama ranking. So it's just straight up a more popular show that more people like, and the people who are familiar with it like it more. Really interesting. So the Yas come in with 97, and the Hell Yas come in with 149, for a total of the lowest negative votes on this poll, 100, and the highest positive votes on this poll, 395, and that all cancels out to a total of 295, which was one of the biggest landslide victories we have ever had on the channel. And I think that just the way that that has played out, and the indications of the nature of some of these shows, how polarizing Mushoku Tensei is despite being relatively popular, and how unpolarizing in comparison, and like how beloved at this point, which is really interesting, Osama ranking is. So, Osama ranking wins the poll. We'll be watching this thing. I don't know what it is. I've seen one GIF of it, which was posted in my Discord today, after I announced the poll results. I have seen one GIF. I haven't even really looked at the promo art. I know nothing about Osama ranking, except that everybody and their moms and their dads and their sisters and their brothers are going fucking hog wild crazy about it, which is very exciting, and I'm pleased by this. I'm looking forward to watching Wit do something else different, and it should be pretty interesting. So that's our poll results for the day. We will be starting off Osama ranking next week. Yeah, have a great day, everybody. Have a great week, everybody. I hope that everybody's staying safe and happy and healthy out there. I will be doing my best to do the same, but there are some difficulties inherent in doing so. So we'll just be playing it by ear and going with the flow and trying to make everything work. See y'all later. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week for Osama ranking, and just tomorrow for more Gundam. All the other scheduled shows should continue as normal. And I will, just as an aside, mention that the last few weeks after I did get sick, which was not COVID, but a normal flu, but after I did get sick, and then we had the holiday season, and things have been up and down and all over the place, I've been really screwed up over the course of these things. The way that I see it is, like, if I was thinking about myself and my production and my like way of being as part of Maslow's hierarchy, a lot of the stuff at the bottom has fallen apart because of the loss of scheduling and the loss of like consistency on the things that I was using as like my foundations in life. So foundational like consistency with record every day, foundational consistency with go to the gym 3 times a week, foundational consistency with all these things were part of what I built my hierarchy upon, and those things fell apart because I got sick, and everything else sort of crumbled around because of them, leading me into something that I've talked about on the channel before, which is like an oscillatory waveform state of being where like my productivity goes up or down, and like general well-being, happiness, lack of depression, all those things fluctuate over the course of years. And I've been in a dip state, and now I'm in the moving up toward something better state again. And part of being there is just being aware of that process and being aware that if I get my shit together, I can get my shit together and be okay again. And more than okay, be like extremely productive and move into wonderful spheres and be super creative and really enjoy life and all of those things. It's just that I've been in a slump for a little bit, and I have to put it back together, and it takes genuine, serious effort to do so. So that's what I'm doing right now, is putting that effort in to do that. And there could not be a worse time to potentially get sick again, because I'm right back in the just getting out of it, and then so I'm going to do everything that I can to avoid getting sick again, so that I can continue on that upward trajectory and make good things, because that's like the whole point, right? All right. A little bit of a blather, a little bit of talking about numbers and their implications for, I don't know, behaviorology and voting of a population, which is interesting. Hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope to catch you next time for whatever you like watching on the channel. Thanks for popping in. If you like these poll results videos, let me know in the comments, and throw a like and a sub if you'd like to do that. And if you want to get access to Osama ranking a little bit early, as well as access to these polls, there will be a new one coming up on Friday soon, which should be interesting. But you can do all of that via the Patreon, which is linked in the description. It's super helpful, and it's the one way that the channel is supported financially, and I really appreciate it. Cool. That's everything. I'll see ya when I see ya. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Peace.